Bear with me, this thing loading up. Okay. We in there, y'all. We are off in there. All right, let me shut this down because I don't want to be echoing. Because you will echo. All right, got it. All right, Fatima, you ready to go out and do this thing?
Yep.
Hey, let's do it. Let me get back to share screen, or however you can go ahead and run that play. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen, Fatima?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out this evening to join us to have a discussion about cash, asset, and cash flow. Okay, we have a special guest this evening. He is a retired active duty soldier. He did 20 plus years in the military. He had been with the company for over 3 years and has been excelling ever since he's been a part of the company. And he's going to enlighten us with some insight on the great things that this company is doing for everybody. So without further ado, Mr. Bryan Woods.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fatima, for that warm, awesome welcome. But hey, I would like to give you a round of applause too for letting me be a part of your journey, for joining this awesome financial group. Hey, everybody out there that don't know me, hey, my name is Bryan Woods, also known as Power Mover 6. I always say you don't call me a buster. But in this case, we are going to add some value today. We're going to be talking about something that most people don't like to talk about. We can talk about who cash, your cash. So one thing, a caveat I want to give to everybody that's viewing right now, either on YouTube or if they're coming in the room live, everything that you remember about cash or how you deal with money before you came here today, I want you to forget about it at this point. Everything that you ever thought about cash, I want you to not think about it too much at this point. So everything that we're about to show you right now, you can't unsee what we're about to show you. Everything that you're about to hear right now, you cannot unhear what you're about to hear. So I'm a proud member of the Extra Digit movement. We're going to show you how you can go from earning 3 figures to earning 4 figures to earning 5 on 6 to 7 figures. But it gets better. Think about this. Got a little technical difficulties here, but bear with me. Let me go out and come back in. Probably froze up. No, technology ain't better than actual people, knowing the information, but it's all good. Can you see my screen?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. This thing freezing up. All right. So we're going to be talking about Wealth Principle 101. Cash, asset, cash flow. Yes, I know some of you thinking like, hey, we are about to talk about some cash. Yes, like I said earlier, whose cash? Your cash. I know most people, they don't have a income problem because most people are getting some type of form of income. But most people are having a cash flow problem because they're not having enough money throughout the month. They got more month than money. So let's talk about ways that you can be able to learn this actual system to help you have more cash flow. So think about this. I'm a member of a proud group called Extra Digit Movement that's been started by Mr. Bryan N. Bean. He just happened to be the greatest trainer of all time and the founder of Extra Digit Movement. He started this group around the age of 20, at age of 22. He earned $1 million and lost $1 million around that time because he didn't understand the tax laws. Then he regained it at the age of 30. He's the fastest in the first four-figure earner a day. He helped create the most millionaire residual ring club earners, and he helped over 1,000 people live a legacy, not just be. But it gets better. Our group teamed up with an awesome MWR Financial, which the founder name is Mr. Bryan House, the founder and the CEO, teamed up with Mr. Adamo Tosin, the president and the field leadership development um, leader. This company right here has been around at least 4.5 years. This is a debt-free company. It's also known as the home of the financial edge membership, also known as the cash flow membership. So think about this. What are we about to learn today? This is what you're about to learn about. Let's talk about how we're going to be able to increase your cash flow, create your cash flow, and multiply your cash flow. This is called the MWR cash flow system. Now, I know some of you saying like, man, we can do all these different things with earning cash flow or doing different things with cash flow. Yes, you can. So we'll get right off into it. Let's talk about the cash flow membership. Yes, up front, we're gonna let you know it's $149.97, but this are all the things that are included in this awesome membership. Fatima, could you tell the world when you started this membership, what are some of the things that it did for you and describe some of the things that this membership offers?
Oh yeah, no problem. So when I first got the membership, the first thing I was interested in finding out about was ways to reduce my taxes. So I went on ahead and uploaded my 2 LESs and my tax return, and within 2 weeks, by that next pay period, I had got back $521 back into my paycheck, and then to be exact, it ended up being like almost $600 and something I got back in my paycheck.
Wow. You mean to tell me with one area alone, you got all that increase in your finances that fast, Miss Fatima Warren?
Yes, that fast.
Awesome. So think about this. That's just one area. You can in this awesome opportunity with the membership, you can increase and multiply your cash flow. She just named 2 different areas, but we have multiple areas. You can reduce your taxes, lower your bills, eliminate your debt, raise your credit score, and we got this awesome thing called keys to home ownership. It gets even better. When you get into the multiplying phase, we got something like the diversified account. We got the private reserve account. We got land banking, trust my asset, and manage my trades. But we're going to talk more about that as we go further into this conversation. But one thing that sticks out to me the most is this: where else in the world would you be able to get this much services and this opportunity for you and your spouse? I'm talking about that's a 2-for-1 deal. Now, both of you can be able to use these services for both of you to have ultimate spending power. I don't know nowhere else in the world you can get that. Fatima, do you know any place else you can get something for $150 that help you and the person that's in your life?
No, I don't. And that's like a really awesome price to include 2 people, where this is to say if y'all have like 2 different cell phone bills, y'all can like lower both of those to be able to like bring more money back by reducing both of y'all taxes. That's going to give y'all more money to put that money somewhere else, like a private reserve account or a land banking, or put it somewhere where they can manage your funds, can be managed for trading. So that's a pretty good deal for 2 people.
Awesome. And you hit the nail on the head, Fatima, but it gets even better. This is just one example of how awesome this company is. Think about this. Let's talk about cash flow stream number 1, Fatima. Give them the insight of how our 3 downs and our 3 ups, or vice versa, 3 ups, 3 downs. But we're going to talk about the 3 downs that it helped you illuminate financially.
Yeah, so just like I mentioned already, like I lower my taxes, right? So now I'm able to shift that money over to any debt that I had. And once I get my debt lower, then I'm able, and my expenses lower too, then I can be more money that I could put towards the debt or the savings. So the average tax saving per member has ranged from between $200 to $600 per month. And the average debt elimination per member has been $64,000. And then on the average per month, that it has been $140 saved. And that's just really, really amazing. Like I've been on, like try to negotiate stuff on my own, be on the phone for 2, 3, 4 hours, and it's just a nightmare. So just to have someone else do that for you with a quick turnaround, like a day, and you already know whether they were able to save for you or not.
Awesome. Now, she done gave you the lowdown about 3 down, but let's talk about the 3 ups for Tima. Give them the lowdown about the 3 ups when after you done went through that first phase of the downs.
So I always get excited when I see this slide, because especially when it talks about the raising of the credit score, because I actually raised mine 55 points and actually went up 1 additional point, so up to 56 points. So I'm pretty excited about it because this is the highest that my credit score has ever been. It's super amazing, just like uploading your credit reports, letting the experts review them, providing you with the paperwork that you need. You submit it to the credit bureaus, and I call it like magic. You have your score is being raised. Well, mine was anyway. So the average credit score has increased 126 points. That has been the average. And the average cash flow per month has been $2,000 per member, which is amazing.
Awesome. And you hit the nail on the head when it comes to that. Just imagine this. Imagine you being able to save that $2,000 that you were spending in your house all this time. You can start to do things like have to start the emergency fund, a real true emergency fund for you and your family. You can start to be able to have money to be able to finally invest. You can start to have money to be able to have a vacation without spending bill money. And also on top of that, you can also be able to have money to start saving for your kid that's going to college. It don't get no better than that. I can tell you this right now, from what I've been seeing across the board, so many people have been winning with this $2,000. Do you know what an extra $2,000 in somebody's household could do? Just imagine that. Now, this right here is across the board saving, but some people might be saving more than this, but this is just a raw estimate across the board on average. But I don't want to put you on the spot, Fatima, but let me ask you this. Before you got this membership, even though I know you wanted to, I don't want to put you out there. I know you're a top level leader in, the field that you're in right now, serving in the uniform services. But how fast did this change your life financially versus what you were doing before you got this membership?
So I only had this membership since January, and I've already seen an increase in my cash flow. I have money coming back to me. Expenses are being dropped down. Credit score has been raised. I'm on to the next step of doing the private reserve account and stuff like that. So, and before I never even knew about stuff like this, or it was ever taught about finances and ways to grow your money instead of just letting it sit in a bank. Now this company is introducing me to ways to grow my money. And it's like you said, creating that legacy, creating it and living it. Okay, not just leaving it. So before, no knowledge of any of this. So I'm just glad to be a part of a team and having the experts educate me on ways so I can make sure that I'm able to pass this knowledge on to my children. So very thankful.
Awesome. And that's what I'm talking about. This saving, this awesome mentorship is one of the awesome things. So at this time, we'll give a little caveat. If it's anybody out there in social media world that's watching on YouTube, or if they're watching the replay, or if they in the room in the chat, if you got any questions about this membership, hey, this is the time we open the floor for anybody that has questions. When I say that, not existing, reps or existing directors. We talking about people that never ever been in the room before or never saw this and they got questions. If you got questions, hey, you can hit us up, in the DM or in the chat, or you can pass this along to one of our reps and we can get this question answered. But at this time, if we don't got anybody that have any questions, hey, we're going to go ahead and proceed with this awesome opportunity that we're presenting to you today. So think about it. Now, I know we just told you about the membership, but we're talking about the cash flow opportunity right now. For extra $100 one-time startup fee plus $149.97, you can get the cash flow opportunity. Now, I don't know about you, you're getting the increase your cash flow to create cash flow and multiply your cash flow for only $100 extra one time. That means you want it all. But I don't want to go too in depth with it because we still have some more stuff to talk about this. But the only difference between the membership and the cash flow opportunity is $100 different one time. Now, I don't know about you. Alone, my trust at my assets alone usually cost people thousands and thousands of dollars just to get a trust. But we'll talk more about in depth in that as we go along in the actual conversation that we have. So think about this. Cash flow stream number 2. Now, I know we fast forwarded up some because we talked about 1, but we want to let you know about this passive income area. Fatima, could you enlighten them on some of the conversation that we were having earlier, some weeks back when we first saw a lot of these new enhancements and what you thought about, what they could do for people out there, which we were already killing it with helping a lot of people. What did you think about it when you saw all these different new things?
So I was really impressed with the land banking. I was like, wow, like to actually own a piece of land that we know that's in the Silicon Valley that's going to potentially have people coming out there to actually build on. But before they can even build, you're the owner. They're going to have to come see you and pay you a nice penny, you know what I mean, to be able to go there. And I that was very, very I was like, wow, that's a very good investment. So we all know that land is very, very valuable. When you buy a house, most of the time the land sometimes is worth more than the house. So investing in that is going to be a great, great asset for anyone who goes and do that. The private reserve account, that's a great way to be your own bank. You already know that putting your money elsewhere in savings is not getting no real interest, and you put in a 401k, the market's up and down. But if you go this route, your money's there and it's gonna gain more than it is being left somewhere else. Managing your funds, I thought that was awesome because I'm not very stock market savvy to understand like when to jump in, when to pull out, what's the exit strategy, all this stuff, watching the stuff. But to have your money invested by experts who know that's not going to put your money at risk is like a win-win right there. Because a lot of people shy away from the stock market, but you can make money there if you know what you're doing. So why not let the experts do it for you? And of course, everyone wants to live the American dream of home ownership. But we all know that most of the time, it's like 2 things that stop people from owning homes, which is their credit score is not good enough or they don't have the down payment. So now they have a program that's giving people the opportunity to own a home, and who else can ask for anything? That's like a blessing in disguise.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head. You hit all over all those different things. And I'll tell you right now, it blew my mind for some of the things I saw, when I was down in Fort Lauderdale, when I saw some of this stuff get introduced. But I'm not going to spoil it for the people that want to get into it because, of course, everybody's financial situation is different and you have to set up a consultation for some of these things. But to give you some highlights of some of the things that's going on with the passive income area is this. We got Mr. Dana Turnquest and Miss Angelina Johnson. Both of them got their parcel of land down in a place called Silicon Valley between LA and Las Vegas. We got people like Mr. Warren Buffett, the U.S. Army, the U.S. Air Force, and we got the 2028 Olympics that's going to be coming through this area. I don't know about you. They got the keys to the game because they bought this land for 40% less of the value that you would buy if you didn't have this exclusive membership, because membership has privileges. Now, usually with stuff like this, if you wasn't making at least $250,000 a year, or if you didn't have a portfolio of $1 million that didn't include the house that you currently live in, you could not get in on stuff like that because this is the big boy play. Now, this right here is big boy stuff we're talking about, but it gets better. Let's talk about the keys to our home ownership. I know earlier, Ms. Fatima briefly talked about it, but Fatima, give them a quick rundown real quick that the cap on what you talked about earlier about the keys to your ownership vehicle. How well did this work for the common people that couldn't get in?
All right, so just like you mentioned, like everybody's financial story and everybody comes from different walks of life. So it doesn't mean you have to start at in this order. It's really going to depend on what your situation is. But just know, even if you're in a worse situation, you can start with the rent when you're building up your down payment, and then the rent to own while you're building up your down payment and building your credit at the same time. And you have the agreement for D when you gain the tax benefits of buying with little than 10% down, which is super awesome. And of course, the platinum deal, which is the actual home ownership. So no matter what your story is, there's a level that could fit anybody here would do this program. It's making like the dream real of owning a home. We all know that there's more people renting than there is actually home owners. Okay, and we know home ownership is definitely where we all striving to be at.
Awesome. Hey, you went all over it with that. Keys to home ownership is an awesome program, and I like the fact that people that you usually would be an underdog if they didn't have they didn't have the correct credit score of at least a 640 or above, or if they didn't even have the funds, that this give them a fair shake to actually become home owners. So you see on the stream from renters to rent owners to agreement to deed, and of course, just like Fatima said, the ultimate is to be a home owner. So think about
And they're
this.
doing,
Let's
and hold up, Brian, and then they're doing, and what's even better is that someone's doing everything for you. Okay, you meet up with the expert, you give me information, and then they go ahead and guide you through whatever one of these levels that you that fits you. So that's the good part. Like you're not doing it alone. There's someone there guiding you.
And that right there is definitely key, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but one thing I do know, if I'm getting what I want without stress and struggle and is legitimate and ethical, yeah, that's the route I'm running. And you got these experts running for you. So you all over that, Fatima. But Fatima, I got excited. I got really excited when I flipped that switch. I'm talking about that my trust, my assets. Fatima, could you break down to them, like when we were having that conversation earlier some weeks back about the trust? Because this trust, everybody should want to have that to be their family member. Everybody should want to have that. But give them a little taste about what we talked about and some of the things we learned about my trust my assets.
So we were discussing like having a trust, of course, that's only something I've only seen on the TV screen, or I've never known no one to have a trust or be a trust fund baby and stuff like that. But this program here is actually making it reasonable for people to able to attain a trust. If we all know that like having nothing is bad and having a will is better than nothing, but you're going to end up in some type of probate court or something like that. I've gone through that personally myself and still am going through that. And it could be a complete nightmare. And now I just think back like that. I wish I would have talked more or had this information more to be able to set up my family members. So then that way it would have been an easier transition once they're gone, because it could be very stressful for those individuals that are left behind. And then another thing is you just want to protect your assets. You start gaining more assets, you need some type of protection. So, and we talked about this too, like, wow, like, and I don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire or whatever the case may be, or have Beyonce, Jay-Z money. I just need to have assets, and I will make that consultation with those experts, and they will guide me on what's the best route to go. So I'm just like super excited about this. I'm like, wow, this is really, really something that I can leave for my children and have while I'm still here on earth to protect myself and my assets.
Awesome. And you're right about that. And the thing about it, I didn't know that there were different type of trust, but just to capsize it, with the business trust, this is where you acquire all of your stuff like, your real estate, or you got business and stuff like this. This is where you're going to get that business trust to help disperse it to the family, and to the family trust. When you get into the family trust pays the trustees and pays all the expenses. But what illuminates all of this is the 501c, the foundation trust. This is why, some of the people that got some serious numbers to their name, like the Michael Jordans, the Oprah Winfrey's, the LeBron James, and just to name a few, that they have a foundation with a 501c. This is where they're having charities that they give out this money to, because this is helping them break down to have good good deals on their taxes. When I say deals, ain't really, it's more so much a deal. This is right here how they're going to be able to keep and build their legacy when they get into this 501c foundation. But Fatima, you are right. I'm telling you right now, I had an experience at the age of 7. I was told about a trust, but I didn't articulate and understand because I was only 7 years old. But now here I am, fast forward, I'm not going to say how much, but a lot of years later, now I'm learning. It's like, ding, the light bulb came on, because it was cobwebs in my brain, because I didn't understand how this really would illuminate our finances. But hey, you can get with awesome get with an awesome guy, Mr. Roger. He's going to be at the party, which we'll talk about the party later on online. Mr. Roger's going to break this thing down. But let's keep going with this awesome conversation. So, Fatima, we saved the best for last. Let's talk about the cash flow. Let's talk about the cash and the opportunity you can earn financially. So, Fatima, what does it take for you to unlock to start to get this type of pay from the daily guarantee from an executive director? What does it take to unlock this?
Okay, so to unlock the executive director, you will need to have at least one customer, and someone who's just want to use the services, which is fine, and 3 QFDs. Okay, so that's a total of 4 people, but 3 QFDs. One customer will give you $5 a day, an additional $150 a month, for a total of $1,825 additional income for the year. Now, at that point, that's where your business can become self-funded.
Awesome. And you're right, you unlocked it. So, but it gets even better as you go to the next level of ED2. This you unlock, you start making $20 a day. That's $600 a month. That's $7,300 a year. But you don't have to do all the heavy lifting yourself. That's when you got a team of 12. So you teach each one of your business partners to grow their team to 3, and you teach each one of them to do 3. But at this level, you got a team of 12. Now that unlocks the weekly performance bonus. Now I don't know about you, you can unlock that with growing your team by 3 QFDs a week. That's an extra $300 a week. Now I don't know about you. We usually don't do math in public, but however, Fatima, what could you do with an extra $300 a week? You can get that every week if you meet that goal, on top of the $600 you're making a month. What could you do with that type of cash flow if you was making an extra 12 plus 6? That's $1,800 extra in your pocket a month. What could you do?
Oh man, that'll be lovely. My daughter's in she go to private school. That'll cover that.
Awesome. So this will cover private school, but think about this. At the next level, you're going to start to make $50 a day. That's when you're going to unlock for $1,500 a month, $18,000 a year. That's unlocking that leadership bonus. You can earn anywhere from $30 to $150 on top of the weekly bonus if you're making that, and all the other money. So you get all that money up to that point. But it gets even better. This is only the first tier. You can earn up to $150 a month. That's $54,000 plus $1,000 a year. That's on average. That's more than some people make a year, because the average person probably make about $50,000 a year. You making more than average from the house. You ain't punching no clock. It's passive income, residual income. But it gets better. Fatima, I was waiting for this right here. Now, we already talked to them about how you unlocked it. This is just a diagram to show you how you unlocked it in a visual. You self-funded at 150 with 3. You, the person that came on, you started this opportunity. You got 3 personnel and 1 customer, like Fatima said earlier. And at level 2, you can grow your business with 12 people with the same 3 and grow to 12, and you can earn $600 a month, and it unlocks the performance bonus for $300. That was just a diagram to show you what she just explained earlier. But Fatima, let's talk about the second tier. On the stream right now, just like I said, I didn't want to put you on Striller, but I already put you out there. So just imagine right now you being a active duty service member. what would it take for you to be able to be making retirement pay while still actively on duty?
If I can get to about regional director, that'll put me at retirement on active duty.
So you mean to tell me you'll be making an extra $6,000 a month? That's $200 a day, an extra 73,000 a year. You'll be making general pay. You'll be making more than generals. So you'll be walking around as a whole top level leader, leading soldiers, but you making just as much money as a general, but with less responsibility. You can do some damage when you actually retire then, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I want to salute you, for your service and all the service members out there. Hey, no shade. Hey, I love what it does for people as far as giving them, guidance and direction and giving them purpose. But at the same time, just imagine this. In this tier, you can go all the way up to $1,000 a day. I don't know about you, but if you make it $356,000 plus a year, you are in the top percentile of earners. But I didn't want to skip over it. But if we go back up to the top, you can lock in at the ring earner at $300 a day. But I just wanted to capsize on how much money you just make in this tier. But either way it go, any one of these levels, you are winning. You making more money than some people make yearly from the house, passively and residually. But it gets better. Fatima, we talked about this earlier. Looking at this tier right now, you can make this third tier. This is the big dog tier from national director all the way to national ambassador. You can make anywhere from $1,500 all up to $15,000 a day. Where else in the world are you going to be able to make this type of pay for an investment of 3 figures? You can make onward up to 7+ hard figures. Any other opportunity you ever ran to, any job or anything like this? And not trying to put anybody out there, but just industry's not paying people this type of money. Do you know any place that's going to pay you any type of money like that on a regular basis?
No.
So I don't know about you, but if you were shooting for something, what would you be shooting for on this tier?
National ambassador.
Hello, that's what I'm talking about. You'll be making money for your generation and generations to come. But I know y'all like money, but let's talk a little bit more about some big things. Now, people used to laugh. We used to get this daily text at 5:00, and our awesome, trainer, greatest trainer of all time, Mr. Bryan, happened to be the founder of the Extra Digit movement. These are some of the texts that he used to get in the beginning. He started off by getting that daily guaranteed text of $5. And so he put it out there and showed his friend, like, hey, I'll get you $5 a day guaranteed. Guaranteed. They laughed at him. They started doing memes and stuff on them on social media and clowning them during the height of COVID-19. Then he helped a lot more people. Then he started making 200. Then he went to 300. Then he went to 500. Then when we got to 500, the laughing stopped. Then he made up to $1,000 a day. Think about this. People was making memes at you. They stopped talking to you. They stopped laughing. Now they go from laughing to they always watching your page, or they always secretly admire you, but won't tell you that you're doing a good job on how you doing because they're ashamed because they was laughing at you when you make $5, but now you're making $1,000 a day. But it gets better. Let's talk about an awesome guy named Mr. Charles Ivory. Hey, man, this guy right here just happened to be, one of my mentors, the Waymaker. Hey, shout out to Mr. Charles Ivory. This is his story. Mr. Charles Ivory, he joined MWR Financial October 26, 2019. On March 31st, 2020, he was laid off of his job without pay due to the pandemic. Thanks to MWR Financial, this home-based opportunity, he was able to support his family by earning 4 times what he was making on his last job that he fired his boss. So think about it. He got the rundown of how he did it. It started off in November 6th. He was making $5 a day, just like how Bryan was. People was laughing, wasn't like that. But fast forward up July, he started making $300 a day. So think about this. This man went from making $5 a day to $300 a day. Do you know how much damage that is? That's $9,000 a month. That's more than some people. That's more than some people making in their whole household with 2 people working. $9,000. He making that from home. Hey, he is a retired vet, and he was a former VA benefit advisor before he fired his boss. And this is some of the stuff that happened as he snowballed and he got this type of money. Talk about some of our friends fired their boss, Miss Gail Andrews, Miss Christy Howard. She was a bartender at in Atlanta. Hey, now she's working from home, making top tier money. Mr. Shanti Hill, he retired school teacher. Hey man, this guy right here is the truth, man. When he say do the work, hey, that's all you do is do the work. But the biggest thing I want to say about Miss Gail Andrews is this: she's a retired IRS executive. Think about this. She retired from the IRS and now she down with us. We told people we got IRS enrolled agents in our business, literally. Now think about this. If she didn't see the value to what we were doing, you really think she would team up with this awesome financial group? She wouldn't. But it gets better. So with Charles and Judah, today's story, what we was talking about earlier, this is what they did when they came into all this funds that they were making for help a lot of people. They increased their credit score by 805 to 815. They got 2 private reserve accounts. They got 2 land parcels of land out in Antelope Valley in California. And also they're building their dream home right now. Now they making way more than he was making back then. They're making 10 plus G's. So Miss Cookie was like, she decided, hey, look, I want a new home. So like a good man that's leaving the inheritance, Mr. I was like, you know what? Let's build this house for my lovely wife, Cookie. All right. So think about this. Just imagine you got your dream home getting built. And at this phase, these were some of the earliest phases, but in reality, they already to the point where they starting to see what type of ceiling fans they want, what type of chandeliers they want at this time. But this is just an overview of what it looks like. Also, they got their son into invest, the youngest investor in their family, Mr. Cameron Ivory. Man, this little guy right here was 3 at the time when this picture was taken. But just to give you a capsize, hey, this little man right here is going to be he's going to be worth $750,000 about time he's 18 years old, all by this private reserve account. But that's just some of the stuff that's going on over in the Ivory household, but it gets better. Man, Mr. Ivory was talking about how he was getting that daily pay, and he was showing some of the screenshots of how he was getting paid. And you can see how the pay just coming in to 400, 250, and just keep coming in. But think about this. Hey, look at that tax return that he got in. Mr. Ivory was not only able to be making a lot of money and helping a lot of people, he was able to write off a lot of money and get big returns. If you can look at that return right there, he got a $13,000 return. $13,000 return, and he was able to still be able to enjoy his money throughout the whole year. So think about this. If you had a team of experts that got you being able to do stuff like this, what Mr. Ivory was doing, I'm about to go back in because we have a little technical difficulties, but let me stop sharing my screen when I say it to you. The education alone is going to take you to places you never, ever been before financially. Not just the education, you got to apply that education. But I just wanted to give you some examples of what's going on and some of the things that's happening here in the awesome Extra Digit Movement financial group that we teamed up with MWR Financial. But let's finish this whole conversation up, because I know some people got to be some places, and we also got an awesome thing that's coming on next with actual corporate. All right, let me know if you can see my stream, Ms. Fatima. Can you see my stream? All right.
Yeah, you good.
We having some technical difficulties here. This thing freezing up. Let me stop sharing again. Go back in. I tell you what, I'm glad that we know what we be doing as far as we know the information. Man, this thing really okay. And this is just some other things that happened. Hey, he got rid of all his credit card debt. Was snowballing with the funds that he got. by helping a lot of people in the business. And some of the other things you can see right there, this is not a joke. This is in 2022. You know what I mean? This is for example purposes only, but this is real stuff. He went from owing that balance to zero debt. But now that I've shown you some of the things that have been happening with us as far as, through the education and what the actually been doing for us and people are actually applying it, we're going to talk about some things where you can really enhance things when you be a part of this awesome extradition group. So we do have, extradition training and support. And this training has been going on with experience or over 100 years of experience. We have stuff like online and offline support. We also have virtual team address. We just had a team address this weekend with the state of team address with Mr. Bryan and it was awesome. And we have weekly overviews. Like right now, we have a private overview with Miss Fatima Warren and other people that's on the team. And we also have a text message campaign where we can actually text with people because we know some people, they kind of, introverts or however you want to call it. They don't like to talk on, Zoom like we do, or they don't like to come on live. They like to text, that's their thing. They're a texter. So yeah, we can text people that really want some information to apply it or whatnot like that. Also, we have online funnels, different avenues like i.e. right now, some people probably watching on YouTube. We got YouTube. We actually have our web. We actually have the Extradition Movie page on Facebook. We also have corporate page that you can view. And we have a different community forums. Once you step over that realm and you become a partner, then you can be able to come into our awesome community forum that we have for Extradition Movie. We also have quarterly conferences, which we're about to have an awesome quarterly conference at Game Changer ATL on the 24th through the 26th of this month. I'm telling you right now, if you don't got your tickets, hey, that's where you want to be at. And I'll tell you right now, in order for you to be able to get tickets, you have to be an exclusive member. You just can't be like somebody that's walk up and think that you can come in, because this is not something where that we asking ask for everybody to come. This is something where somebody saw enough in you that, hey, this person right here can use this and actually help a lot of people, because that's what we do. We help a lot of people. And also, we started the mobile app campaign is already started. But the biggest thing that we want to tell you is this: we're looking to make people have people that want to live a legacy. Don't just leave a legacy. But in closing, the 4 roadblocks to your millionaire dollar makeover. Your assumptions that you had prior to coming here were not your assumptions. Those are what others would think, because they are closed-minded to looking at passive and residual opportunities and different ways of growing financially. Now, your confusion that you may have had prior to coming into this room, I told you to leave it at the door. Hey, you should have an example of, we were talking about how somebody had expenses, but now it versus an investment. Now, is a difference. We showed you investment versus how people usually think negatively of an expense. Now, some people have an indecision, which is basically that you made a decision, but we grown up in here. You can make a decision that can help you and your generations to come financially live good forever, ever off of this opportunity. But most of all, your past fears should have been out of the window by some of the things we showed you and your failures. But most of all, I want to say is this: a lot of your prayers can be answered with this awesome opportunity that we presented to you today. So with that being said, there's only 2 types of people that we're looking for. And when I say looking for, that we give the opportunity to come to this awesome exclusive membership opportunity for. Number 2 says, hey, all I want is the cash flow membership. I don't want no money, but I do want to secure everything else that I already got right now, and keep that rolling so I can have my stuff in the realm where I don't, be living paycheck to paycheck, and I want to keep my stuff good to go. Okay, that's fine. We love number 2s. But number 1s with the opportunity to say, hey, I want everything. I want all the services, and I want to make some money, and I want to help a lot of people, because that's what we're about. We're about helping a lot of people succeed and grow financially and do big things for generations to come. That's for $249. That's only your extra $100 extra on top of that $147 a month. So think about this. Now that we showing you everything, those are the type of people you're looking for. Whoever brought you to this actual conversation, whether you're looking at a YouTube or out of the social media world, or somebody brought you into the room, hey, get back with that person so you can get the information you need to get your new life started today. So with that being said, I'm gonna turn it back over to Miss Fatima Warren. Hey, this has been an awesome opportunity. So Fatima, you out there?
Yes, I'm here. So, Bryan, thank you so much for all that information. Great conversation. Very, very, very useful information. Like he said, if you're number one or number two, either way, you're going to win, whether you do membership or you take the opportunity to create extra income. But I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Have a great evening, and please get back with the person who invited you to this.